I'm Gianpaolo Grassi. I'm a senior researcher at the Institute of Council for Research in Agriculture and Economy, and we are controlled or assisted by the Ministry of Agriculture in Italy. Personally, I'm involved in research and studies of cannabis sativa since 1994. I try to understand how the active ingredient like THC, CBD, CBG, THCV, CBDV can be accumulated in the plant, how to breed the variety, and to think about the utilization of this variety for medicinal application. When I recognize that should be interesting to improve not only the agronomical characteristic of the variety, but the chemical composition of the variety, we introduce variety in combination and in collaboration with Professor Appendino of University of Navarra. We organize collaboration and that based on deep analysis of the component and application of traditional breeding to obtain new variety with high content of cannabinoid. And from this collaboration, we obtain different paper and information about the activity against bacteria of some cannabinoid, bacteria, for example, antibiotic resistant, or we have introduced and we study composition of different variety in terms of content of canflavine A and B, flavonoid that are specific of cannabis, and this can be improved or increased in different variety to have like supplement food more than a normal food. Or we have study application in some preliminary and lab test of activity of extract made with our variety, new variety. For example, I have collaborated also with a doctor involved in epilepsy study in a child, and we realized the first, one of the first clinical trial regarding epilepsy drug resistant, and now is active and just registered the first traditional drug in America by a pharmaceutical company that is based in with cannabis extract with high content of cannabidiol. Our strategy was to fix and to combine the different spectrum and to compare the effect, maintaining stable all the other parameters. We organize in a very standardized places that are realized with tents, with the same size, with the same position, under the control and environment stable condition. We have compared using cloned material of one variety for 3 times the different spectrum, the different sources of light to verify which is the effect of this character or this variable condition. And so we have to take care in the plant of the cannabinoid content, of the yield of flower, obviously, the healthy condition of the plant, how it's grown, the size, the diameter of the stem, how is the leaves, the content of chlorophyll, many parameters to be able to describe as much as possible the condition and the result of and the effects derived from the different source of light. And until now we have identified the condition or the effect of some part of the spectrum, the different wavelength that can affect the internode length, the size of the stem, the ratio of leaves and flower, and so on. We have recently published a paper that making evidence the effect of the composition of the light on the size of the plant, or the composition of chemical composition of content of different parameter. And we are looking to understand as much as possible which is the effect and which is the best condition to use the different lamp based on lead produced by Valoya company. The result of our study until now has shown that there are positive effects of lead sources of light in terms of shape of plant that remain shorter, more compact, and limit the length of internode or size of the plant. This allowed to introduce, for example, different method of cultivation in comparison with the traditional method in terms of multi-layer crop or more dense crop or high yield for square meter. Until now, through our trial, we have verified that the most significant or important character that we have measured and shown, that is the yield in terms of amount of cannabinoid that we can produce with LED is higher than the traditional lamp like APS. This is because the amount of flower in terms of biomass that we produce and the concentration are affected in a positive way we use the lead, because we are utilizing as most efficiently the energy, because we maintain closer the lamp, more uniform the illumination of the plant, just because we maintain closer and uniform. The biggest problem with sources like APS, that is more concentrated source of light, that gave variability between the center of cone of light in comparison with the border of the light. We identify in UV A and B absolutely some part or some fraction of the spectrum quite interesting, because are related the presence or absence of this type of light is related with some, we can say, elicitor effect, or stimulating or critical condition that the plant can react with improving the accumulation of secondary metabolite or not. So for sure, applying doses and in different combination, UVA and UVB as a strategic or a very important effect. What we are doing with the trial that we are repeating is to change the ratio of this part of the spectrum, because we are sure that their effect is important, is related to the flavonoid, for example, accumulation, for cannabinoid accumulation. The composition of light has an effect on terpene composition. And it's clear that as cannabinoid, also terpene interact with receptors that we have in our body, and then that reaction has an effect on the healthy state of the human, of the people. We have in fact an internal mechanism, endocannabinoid system, the name, that react with some endogenous molecule named endocannabinoid, but react in the same way when the system is affected by external, exogenous substance like phytocannabinoid. The phytocannabinoid are cannabinoids, are terpene, we can say that perform like cannabinoid, also the terpene, and the effect is the equilibrium, our healthy state. Cannabinoid and medicinal cannabis has an additional drug, an additional method to make in balance this system. That is very important. It is very common also, because pain can affect a million of people, and pain could be of neurological origin, could be from cancer, from injury, or many reasons can produce pain, and should be also very often chronic pain. And in this case, cannabinoid is very effective. In a future way of thinking to use cannabis, we can introduce also, we can add, for example, the aging of brain or nervous system. Aging because the people live longer than before, and when you are very old, very often you have problem for example, Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, or dementia, and so on. This is because aging of the cells in the brain is so advanced that they die, and so doesn't maintain in a good state the brain. But we have verified, and the scientists have shown that also chemical, also cannabinoid like CBD, cannabidiol, that is not psychotropic, has a positive effect because as antioxidant, anti-inflammation effect, and probably, and there are some preliminary results that have shown that the speed of the damaging of the nervous system, of the brain cells, are reduced. The speed how the disease affected the people, or also in general, as a good feeling when you, as an effect derived from cannabinoid, good feeling because you enjoy more the life, and should be also some marginal, we can say, but it's very strategic to feel good instead to feel sad, to feel depressed, to feel bored, or in some wrong way. So medicinal cannabis probably will be in the future well accepted because it's absolutely very safe. We can avoid to use molecule that has a big effect of psychotropic kind, And so we can use and take care of this cannabinoid for only the positive effect that then produce and can improve as much as possible, I think. And there are some trials already done, for example, in Israel, where they introduce cannabis in elderly structure to treat the people there. And the most important, more common effect is to improve the feeling of the people. They stay better. They restart to think in a positive way, to have relation with the people, to talk after, to stop completely to talk with other people. So it's an open window on a scenario that will be much more better than before.